Have you ever looked at someone who shares your zodiac sign? And wondered, why are we nothing alike? You're both Taurus. But inside, it feels like you're from different worlds. Here's a truth most people don't know. Taurus is not just one personality. There are three hidden faces of Taurus. Each one shaped by your exact birth date. Each one carrying its own emotional blueprint, its own secret battles, its own path to happiness. And that's what we're uncovering today. Because maybe you're not who you think you are. Maybe your need for silence, your fear of change, your craving for beauty, or your endless drive for success was written in the stars all along. In this video, we're diving deep. We'll explore how astrology and psychology blend together to explain your thoughts, your behaviors, your relationships, even the emotional patterns you've never been able to explain. So, which hidden Taurus are you? The sensitive creator? The strategic entrepreneur? Or the patient sage? Stay with me until the end. You're going to see yourself like never before. And hey, if you're curious about yourself, hit that subscribe button. Give this video a like, and share it with someone who needs to understand their Taurus soul. Let's get started. Let me tell you something that might surprise you. Not all Taurus people are the same. Even though you share the same zodiac sign, the day you were born within Taurus season can completely change the way you feel, think, and behave. It's called the Decan system. And if you're born in the first part of Taurus season, from April 20th to April 29th, you belong to what's known as the sensitive Taurus. But don't let that word sensitive fool you. This isn't about weakness. It's about depth. About a connection to the world that's so profound, most people can't even see it. Think about how you feel when you step into a space that's beautiful. A cozy room. A softly lit cafe. A garden where every flower seems placed perfectly. If you're a sensitive Taurus, you don't just enjoy that beauty. You feel it. It moves something deep inside you. Maybe you're the person who rearranges the living room until it feels right. Or you pick clothes not just for fashion, but because certain colors calm you. You're not obsessed with aesthetics, you're searching for harmony. For balance. For peace. And it's not just about what you see. Maybe certain music relaxes you. Maybe certain scents make you feel safe. Your connection to beauty touches every sense. You're the person who notices how a wooden table feels under your hand. How sunlight filters through a window. How silence in the right space can feel like a hug. But why? Why do you care so much about these little things that others overlook? The answer is simple. Your soul craves peace. And beauty is your way of finding it. Because deep down, you feel everything. You absorb the moods of people around you, even when they don't speak. You sense tension in a room. You notice sadness behind a smile. And that sensitivity, it's exhausting. It's like walking through life with no filter. So, you build your own. You create spaces that calm your mind. You curate beauty like a shield, protecting your energy in a chaotic world. That's why you're so good at making others feel comfortable. People love being around you, not always knowing why. But it's because your presence feels like peace. Let me ask you something personal. Do you often feel drained after socializing? Do you need to be alone to reset? That's not being antisocial. It's survival. Sensitive Taurus people aren't loners, they're protectors of their inner world. You need solitude not because you hate people, but because you love too deeply. You carry the emotions of those around you, whether you choose to or not. And solitude, that's where you release it. That's where you breathe. Maybe you've noticed how criticism cuts deeper than it should. Especially when it targets something you've created. A project at work. A meal you cooked. Even your appearance. Why does it hurt so much? It's not vanity. It's because your creations are extensions of your inner world. When someone judges them, it feels like they're judging your heart. And that's not easy to brush off. But remember, this sensitivity isn't a flaw. It's a gift. The world needs people like you. People who care enough to make life more beautiful for everyone else. Now, let's talk about relationships. You love through action. You might not say I love you every day. But you'll cook their favorite meal. You'll arrange the home to feel warm. You'll notice when they're sad, and offer comfort without asking. Your love language isn't always words. It's creating a world where people feel safe, cared for, and understood. But opening your heart? That takes time. You're slow to trust. And that's okay. Protecting your energy is not selfish. It's wise. If someone's ever said you're too quiet, too reserved, let them talk. What they don't see is how rich your inner world truly is. You're not hiding from others. You're protecting the parts of you that feel too deeply to share casually. When you're ready, you'll open up. And when you do, you'll offer a love that's steady, loyal, and deep. Let me share something that might resonate with you. Picture yourself coming home after a long day. People drained you. Conversations linger in your mind. Your emotions feel tangled. So, what do? You light a candle. Play soft music. Maybe you sit by a window in silence. In that moment, you're not running from life. You're healing from it. That's your solitude. Your sacred space. And here's something important. Never feel guilty for needing time alone. That's not weakness. It's self-preservation. Your solitude is not rejection of others. It's a return to yourself. Without it, you can't be the calm, nurturing person your loved ones rely on. So honor it. Create that space. And when you're ready, step back into the world with a heart full of peace. If you're listening right now and thinking, that sounds like me, know this. Your sensitivity is your superpower. Your ability to create beauty, to feel deeply, to offer quiet comfort, these are rare gifts. The world can feel overwhelming. But your gift is to transform that chaos into harmony. Through art. Through spaces. Through love. So next time you feel drained, don't blame yourself. Step into your solitude. Breathe. Let your senses reconnect. And remember, you're not fragile. You're sensitive. And that makes you strong in ways the world often forgets to celebrate. Now, are you ready to explore the next side of Taurus? Because not all Taurus crave peace. Some crave progress. And their story is just beginning. But not every Taurus seeks silence and beauty. Some Tauruses are driven by something else entirely. If you're born between April 30th and May 9th, your story is different. You belong to the second group, the entrepreneur Taurus. And while the sensitive Taurus seeks peace, you seek progress. You're not just a dreamer. You're a builder. Ideas for you are not meant to stay in your mind. They're meant to be turned into reality. And that's not always easy, is it? Because the truth is, you carry a constant pressure inside. A feeling that you need to do more. To create more. To succeed. Maybe you've wondered why you feel restless when you're not working towards something. Why sitting still makes you anxious. It's not that you're impatient. It's that your mind is wired to create solutions. To find answers. To build your own path, brick by brick. But here's the part people don't see. Behind that drive is fear. A fear of losing control. A fear of instability. You work hard not just because you love success, but because building things gives you a sense of security. Every project you complete, every goal you achieve, it's proof that you're safe. That life won't fall apart if you stay in control. That's why planning matters so much to you. You don't just plan for the sake of efficiency. You plan because it calms your mind. Knowing the next step gives you peace in a world that feels unpredictable. Think about it. How many times have you double-checked your budget? Or created mental to-do lists before sleeping? Or researched every option before making a decision? That's not overthinking. That's your inner self searching for certainty. You value strategy not just for business, but for emotional survival. You find safety in structure. And there's no shame in that. But let me ask you something more personal. How do you feel about money? For you, money isn't just material. It's emotional. Having savings, making smart investments, securing a steady income, these things aren't about greed. They're about freedom. About knowing you'll be okay. You're not driven by wealth itself. You're driven by the security wealth represents. So if someone calls you cautious or slow to spend, remember, this isn't a flaw. It's your way of protecting your peace of mind. Yet behind your independent nature, you understand something many people don't. Success isn't built alone. You know how to network. You understand the value of partnership. Maybe you're the person who connects others, who builds teams, who supports friends with advice and resources. You know that collaboration isn't a weakness. It's a strategy. And more than that, it's emotional balance. Working with others pulls you out of your head. It reminds you that life isn't just tasks and goals. It's connection. But that doesn't mean you let people in easily, does it? You're careful with your emotions. You guard them. Maybe you've been told you seem cold. Or too serious. But what people don't see is that your calmness is a form of self-protection. You share your dreams, your plans, your achievements. But your fears? Your pain? That stays locked away. Opening up feels risky. It means giving up control. And for you, control feels like safety. But keeping your heart closed comes at a price. Sooner or later, you'll meet people who deserve your trust. People who won't use your vulnerability against you. When you find them, take the risk. Let them in. Emotional intimacy isn't a threat. It's a reward. And you, more than anyone, deserve to feel that connection. Now, let's talk about change. How do you feel when life suddenly shifts? When a plan falls apart? If you're honest, it unsettles you. Maybe even scares you. You're not stubborn because you're difficult. You're stubborn because change feels like chaos. Like losing control. And losing control triggers your deepest fears. So you hold on to routines. You stick with familiar methods. You choose the safe path, even when you know change could help you grow. But here's something important to remember. Control is an illusion. Life changes whether we like it or not. And resisting that change only drains your energy. So, instead of fighting it, practice flexibility. Start small. Change a routine. Take a risk. And notice, you're still safe. Letting go of control doesn't mean letting go of yourself. When you do choose solitude, it's not for rest like the sensitive Taurus. Your solitude is strategic. It's where you plan your next move. Where you think deeply, where ideas form without distraction. You might spend hours alone working on your business, your art, or your next goal. And in those hours, you feel calm. Focused. But here's a gentle reminder. Solitude isn't just for productivity. It's also where you reconnect with your emotions. Give yourself permission to stop working sometimes. To simply feel. To simply be. People admire you because you build. Because you succeed. But your worth isn't measured by what you create. You are valuable, even when you rest. Even when your plans fail. Even when you're not productive. If you're listening right now, wondering why you're always chasing the next goal, always planning the next move, ask yourself this: What would happen if you slowed down? Would you feel lost? Or free? The answer to that question might reveal what your soul truly craves. Because underneath your drive, you're not just an entrepreneur. You're a human being. One who deserves both success and peace. But don't think for a moment that your story ends here. In fact, the next part of this journey may be the most profound. Because the final face of Taurus is not about beauty. It's not about building. It's about wisdom. About a depth of patience and discipline most people can't even understand. And the last 3 insights we're about to uncover might just change the way you see yourself forever. Now, let's slow down for a moment. Because if you're born between May 10th and May 20th, your Taurus story takes a different turn. You are what we call the patient Taurus. And while the world rushes forward, while others panic at every setback, you don't. You wait. You observe. You trust time. But what most people don't realize is that your patience isn't something you were simply born with. It's something you've learned. Something life has taught you. Over and over again. Think back to the hardest moments in your life. The times when everything felt uncertain. When people around you lost their balance. Maybe you stayed calm. Maybe you kept moving forward when others gave up. Not because you didn't feel the fear, but because you understood something deeper. That everything in life needs time. That rushing never helps. That waiting is not wasted time, it's wisdom. You carry the energy of Saturn. The planet of time, discipline, and boundaries. You are grounded. Practical. But more than that, you carry emotional maturity far beyond your years. People come to you for advice. They trust your steady energy. Maybe you've noticed how friends ask you what to do when they feel lost. Maybe you're the person who listens, who offers the calm voice in the middle of someone else's storm. You didn't choose that role. Life gave it to you. Because your patience comforts people. But here's something important. Your calmness is not detachment. You feel deeply. But you've learned not to react. You've learned to step back. To see the bigger picture. While others react to today. You think about tomorrow. And the day after. And the years ahead. You're not in a hurry, are you? You understand that real success, real healing, real love, all take time. Think about the way you approach relationships. You don't fall in love quickly. You don't trust easily. You observe. You wait. Not because you're cold, but because you know emotions can be fleeting. And what you're searching for is something lasting. Something that grows stronger with time. You're not interested in short-term passion. You're building something steady. Something real. And when you choose someone, you commit. Fully. Completely. But that slow approach, it can sometimes be misunderstood. People may say you're stubborn. Or resistant to change. Maybe they push you to act faster, to take more risks. And that pressure can make you question yourself. But here's the truth. Your pace is not wrong. Your caution is not weakness. It's wisdom. Trust your timing. Trust your process. The right things will never need to be rushed. Your patience doesn't only shape your relationships. It shapes your entire life. In your career, your goals, your personal growth, you build step by step. You don't chase quick results. You focus on long-term success. And while others may race ahead and burn out, you move slowly and you endure. Because deep down, you know that stability is built, not found. But let's be honest. That stability can sometimes become a trap. You prefer what's familiar. You like routines. Change unsettles you. Even when you know that change might be good. You resist. Not because you refuse to grow, but because change threatens the security you've worked so hard to build. And that's understandable. But growth often lives just beyond the edge of your comfort zone. So the next time life pushes you towards something new, pause. Breathe. And ask yourself, is this discomfort protecting me? Or holding me back? Another thing most people don't see is how much emotional energy it takes for you to stay calm. You process a lot internally. Your patience is hard-won. And sometimes, you need space. Time alone. Quiet. Not because you don't care about people, but because you've carried their problems for too long. Solitude, for you, is where you recharge. Where you lay down the emotional weight of others. And reconnect with your own thoughts. Maybe you found peace in routines. Morning coffee in silence. Walks alone. Simple moments where nothing happens. Those moments aren't wasted. They're essential. In those quiet spaces, you find yourself again. Don't let anyone tell you that needing time alone makes you distant. It means you know how to care for yourself. Your wisdom isn't just about knowing answers. It's about knowing when not to answer. When to listen. When to wait. When to trust that life is unfolding in its own time. You're not here to rush the journey. You're here to walk it with grace. And that grace, that quiet strength, is what makes people trust you. They feel safe around you. They feel calm. But remember, you don't always have to be the strong one. It's okay to lean on others too. To let someone else carry the weight for a while. You're allowed to rest. So if you're listening to this and thinking, yes, this feels like me, know that your steady heart is your greatest strength. Your calm mind, your patient spirit, your slow and steady pace, they are not limitations. They are your gifts. But what if I told you that even within your patience, there are lessons you've yet to learn? That beneath your calm surface, there are hidden fears, quiet battles, and untapped wisdom waiting to rise? Because as we step into the final part of this journey, we'll uncover 3 truths that may surprise you. Insights that reveal not just who you are, but who you're capable of becoming. What you're about to hear could be the most personal, the most transformative, or even the most uncomfortable part of this entire video. Are you ready to meet the deepest version of yourself? Let's continue. But now, let's go even deeper. Because the patient Taurus is not just someone who waits. You are someone who understands time itself. And you don't just understand it with your mind. You feel it in your soul. For you, life is not a race. It's a long journey. And you're here to walk every step. You see, most people live in a hurry. They want answers now. They want success now. They want healing now. But not you. You know that some things simply can't be rushed. A tree doesn't grow faster because you pull on its branches. And a dream doesn't come true just because you demand it. You've learned this, perhaps the hard way. Maybe through failures. Maybe through heartbreaks. Maybe through waiting longer than you thought you could. But each time, life proved something to you. Everything happens when it's meant to. This patience you carry, it's not passive. It's active. It's a quiet strength that most people overlook. People might see you sitting calmly, listening without reacting, holding back from rushing into things. And they think you're slow. But inside, you're simply steady. You're watching. You're understanding. You're letting things unfold. And that is wisdom. You've likely found yourself in the role of a mentor, even without meaning to. Maybe people come to you for advice, without realizing why. Maybe they tell you their problems. Feeling safe in your, and that's rare. Most people speak to be heard. You speak to bring clarity. And people trust you for it. But carrying this role isn't always easy, is it? Sometimes you feel like you're always the strong one. Always the one who stays calm when everyone else falls apart. Always the one who holds others together. And inside, you get tired. Maybe you don't show it. Maybe you keep going, thinking it's your responsibility. But let me remind you, it's okay to step back. It's okay to rest. Being the anchor for everyone else doesn't mean you shouldn't care for yourself too. One of your greatest skills is your ability to stay calm in chaos. When everything around you crumbles, you stay grounded. Maybe at work, when problems arise, you're the one who says, "Let's slow down. Let's think." Maybe in your family, when conflict explodes, you're the one who listens first. You don't get caught in drama. You don't react to panic. You hold space. And people rely on that. But being this calm, it's not natural. It's a choice. A discipline. A practice you've built over time. It's not that you don't feel stress. You just refuse to let it control you. You focus on what you can control. And you let go of what you can't. That's why people feel safe around you. Your presence tells them, it's okay. We'll get through this. But what happens when the person who holds everyone else up feels like falling? That's the side of you people don't often see. The private battles. The quiet doubts. The moments when even your steady patience feels heavy. When that happens, remember, you don't have to carry it all alone. Let someone else be your anchor too. Your calmness isn't just a gift to others. It's a lesson. A reminder that life isn't about rushing to the finish line. It's about staying steady, even when the world spins fast around you. And your way of seeing life is powerful. When others panic, you trust the process. When others force solutions, you let answers come. When others crave quick results, you choose slow, steady progress. Not because you're afraid to act, but because you know that real things take time. And that applies to every part of your life. Whether you're building a career, a relationship, or simply growing as a person, you move carefully. You make thoughtful decisions. You don't waste energy on what doesn't matter. And while others may get there first, you'll be the one who stays. Because you build foundations that last. But this steady nature can make you feel misunderstood. People might call you rigid or too cautious. They might push you to change faster than you're ready for. And deep inside, that pressure can make you doubt your way. But don't. Your consistency, your thoughtfulness, your commitment to long-term growth are strengths. They're not limitations. Still, remember this. Being patient doesn't mean avoiding change. Change will come, whether you welcome it or not. And sometimes, clinging too tightly to what's familiar can hold you back. Learn to recognize when your patience is guiding you, and when it's protecting you from something you're afraid to face. Because even wisdom needs courage. At your core, you are loyal. To your path. To your people. To your own values. When you make a promise, you keep it. When you start a project, you finish it. When you choose someone, you stay. And that loyalty is rare. But it also means you invest deeply. And when something threatens that investment, it shakes your entire foundation. So protect your heart, but don't lock it away. Let your loyalty be a bridge, not a wall. And one more thing. Remember to nurture your need for solitude. Your quiet time is not a luxury. It's where you process the emotions you carry for others. Where you reflect on your own growth. Where you find balance again. Never feel guilty for needing space. Solitude is where your soul breathes. As we reach this point in your journey, ask yourself, what is the life you're slowly building? Does it nourish your spirit? Does it honor your patience? Does it reflect your inner wisdom? Because what's coming next might challenge everything you thought you knew about yourself. The final 3 insights will take us beyond what's visible on the surface. They'll reveal the hidden struggles, the silent fears, and the surprising power within you that even you might not have recognized yet. Are you ready to uncover the deepest layers of who you are? Let's continue. At your deepest level, you understand something most people never fully grasp. That life isn't about constant movement. It's about moving with purpose. You know when to act. And just as importantly, you know when to wait. But that waiting, it's not easy. It comes with its own quiet battles. Because even when you trust the process, there are moments you wonder. Moments when you ask yourself, will it ever come? Will this effort pay off? Will this person understand me? And in those moments, doubt creeps in. But here's the truth you need to remember. Doubt doesn't mean you're lost. It means you're human. Even the strongest souls question their path sometimes. What matters is that you keep walking. Even slowly. Even when it feels heavy. Even when no one else sees the progress you're making. Because every step counts. Every choice matters. Every quiet moment of patience is building something. Something real. Something lasting. That's why people trust you. That's why they come to you. Not because you have all the answers, but because you remind them that answers don't always come fast. You remind them that wisdom isn't loud. It's quiet. It's steady. And it's earned. Now, let's talk about your loyalty. Because this is both your greatest strength and your silent struggle. You're someone who stands by what you love. When you commit to someone, or to something, you hold on. You don't give up easily. And that's beautiful. But it's also dangerous. Because sometimes, your loyalty keeps you in places that no longer serve you. Sometimes, you stay loyal to routines that keep you small. To people who drain you. To habits that hold you back. Not because you don't see the truth, but because letting go feels like breaking a promise to yourself. But loyalty, true loyalty, should never be a prison. Loyalty means honoring what helps you grow. What feeds your soul. What reflects your values. If something or someone no longer does that, letting go isn't betrayal. It's an act of self-respect. So ask yourself, who or what are you loyal to? And is that loyalty lifting you or limiting you? Because your loyalty, when given wisely, becomes your power. It becomes the reason people trust you. The reason relationships with you feel safe. The reason your word carries weight. You are someone who stays. Who builds. Who honors. And in a world of fleeting connections, that's rare. That's priceless. But don't forget, you owe that loyalty to yourself too. And now, here we are. At the end of this journey. And yet, maybe it's not the end. Maybe it's the beginning of understanding yourself in a new way. Because whether you saw yourself in the sensitive Taurus, craving peace through beauty, or in the entrepreneur Taurus, building security through action, or in the patient Taurus, trusting the quiet wisdom of time, one thing is true for all of you. You are more than your zodiac sign. You are more than the labels people give you. You are a soul, walking a path, shaped by both the stars and your own choices. Astrology doesn't tell you who you must be. It shows you where to look. It holds up a mirror, so you can recognize your own patterns. Your fears. Your strengths. And perhaps, your hidden gifts. So today, I hope you saw yourself in a way you hadn't before. I hope you felt seen. Understood. Maybe even comforted. If you did, if something in this video touched your heart, let me know. Leave a comment below. Tell me which Taurus type felt like you. And if you're still searching for yourself, that's okay too. Sometimes the journey matters more than the answer. If you know someone who needs to hear this, share this video with them. You never know whose life you'll help change. And if you want to keep exploring the wisdom of astrology, the secrets of personality, and the power of self-understanding, hit that subscribe button. There's so much more I want to share with you. So many more journeys we can take together. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And remember, whether you're creating beauty, building dreams, or standing patiently in your truth, you are exactly where you're meant to be. I'll see you in the next video.